So we have raised garden beds due to the condition of the native soil, which is essentially clay and sandstone. Since there are plenty of deer around, we are about to install a square perimeter fence around the entire set of beds. It's going to be about 50 feet on each side. Even though a motorized auger is the way to go, this area is extremely hard to get through. Even though it's got plenty of power, at times my friend Woody had to help push down on it to break through some particularly tough layers. Using a new and sharp 4-inch auger bit, it was still very, very slow, sometimes only an inch at a time. While the rule of thumb is to bury about 1/3 of the post height in the ground, we were stopping at a depth of around 2 feet. Since the walls and bottoms of the post holes were smooth and extremely hard, it was like looking down a hole bored through concrete. We ended up purchasing a San Angelo bar, which is a 17-pound steel rod with a sharp point on one end and a chisel-like shape to the other. Still, it was very tough going, as you can see. We ended up simply chipping away at the bottom of the holes and having to clear out what was removed with the bar. Even once we hit 24 inches, we had to pound the posts in using a sledgehammer. The holes were so uniform, we found it easier to bevel the end of the post that was going to go into the ground. After using a hatchet, the corners were then pounded smooth with a small sledge. Made it a lot easier. With some wiggling and pounding, we were finally able to get them in, and we did so while using a level to check the posts plumb in all directions. The narrow space around each post was then backfilled with the same soil we just dug out, a very dense clay-like material. To be sure that each of the posts was as solid as possible, the soil around it was driven down until it could no longer compact by hammering. by hammering with a narrow piece of wood, checking for plumb at all times. Once done, the base of the post was completely immobile. We even added water to the soil around each post to help settle and solidify the soil. Next came bracing for each corner and for each end post that would provide support for the gates. For simplicity, we decided to use corner bracing rather than H bracing. Each end of the treated 2x6s were secured to the posts using 5-inch galvanized lag bolts, and 1/4-inch pilot holes were used for the 5/16 diameter bolts. When it was all said and done, we had a rock-solid foundation to secure our wildlife fencing. Ta-da!